They tried to kill my child to shut her up. Well, guess what? You just magnified her.
We are here to remember Heather Heyer and to say goodbye. And some of us are just here out of respect for a young woman who lost her life defending the rights of people. And I would like for us to carry her legacy on by doing the same thing, respecting the rights of everyone.
She wanted fairness. She wanted justice. She wanted everybody to get equal respect. And with an older brother, that got tough because older brothers are going to get more privileges, you see. And she watched that like a hawk, and she'd call you out, why can't I do that? Why can't I have that privilege? Why does he get to do it? And we had a lot of fiery discussions. And she wanted to understand your viewpoint. It didn't seem right to her, but she insisted on knowing your viewpoint. That same drive, that same passion, that same desire for justice, I think we saw it all through her life. She wanted respect for everybody.
So here's what I want to happen. You ask me, what can I do? So many caring people. Pages of pages of pages of stuff I'm going through. I'm reading pages of pages of pages, how she's touching the world. I want this to spread. I don't want this to die. This is just the beginning of Heather's legacy. This is not the end of Heather's legacy. You need to find in your heart that small spark of accountability. What is there that I can do to make the world a better place? What injustice do I see and want to turn away? I don't really want to get involved in that. I don't want to speak up. They'll be annoyed with me. My boss might think less of me. I don't care. You poke that finger at yourself like Heather would have done, and you make it happen. You take that extra step. You find a way to make a difference in the world.
No father should have to do this. But I love my daughter. Heather's passion extended to her ideas, her thoughts. Her grandfather was right. She could tell if somebody wasn't being straight.
I'm going to be sharing a letter that I wrote to Heather about all the things that I wish I would have said before today. Dear Heather, did I ever tell you about my earliest memory of you? Just an image of you, a whirling dervish of bouncy brown curls in Mama and Papa's kitchen. Did I tell you that your smile was infectious and that your eyes glittered and laughed? Did I tell you that you come from a long line of stubborn and passionate women? The qualities of a toddler that would drive any parent crazy, but those qualities turned you into an independent and compassionate woman. Your compassion. Did I ever tell you how much I admired the woman you became? You always saw the good in other people, people I would have cut out of my life, but you refused to give up on them. Your patience was heroic. Your courage. You never had a problem having the conversation or saying what needed to be said, even when it was uncomfortable. Your conviction. You didn't let other people tell you how to think, how to feel, how to behave. Did I ever tell you how much you taught me? That you don't have to be a world leader, Nobel Prize winner, or CEO to change the world. Just be one person willing to show compassion to another.
And as I listened and to her friends, and hear stories of my daughter and the way she was. She loved people. She wanted equality. And in this issue of the day of her passing, she wanted to put down hate. And for my part, we just need to stop all this stuff and just forgive each other. Just love one another. I came here today and I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed at the rainbow of colors in this room. That's how Heather was. It didn't matter who you were or where you were from. If she loved you, that was it. You were stuck. So for that, I'm truly proud of my daughter.
I'm sorry, Heather, that it ended this way, that terrible, horrible Saturday. That devastating phone call that we didn't want to believe was true, and the aches in our heart of hearing what happened to you. There must have been a mistake, I kept on saying to myself as I entered the doors at UVA, and the numbness in my body and the words that I couldn't speak. Standing there listening but not actually hearing, the inner child in me crying but my adult self fearing. How could this happen like in the world today? After all those marches that ended in violence and all those verdicts that ended in rage and all the hate crimes that go unsolved, when is this so-called change ever gonna change? So I'm so sorry, Heather. I'm sorry that you cared so much. Maybe if you didn't stand up or you didn't speak so loudly, maybe if you weren't so bold that they wouldn't have heard you and you would still be here. Now your desk will be empty and your coffee cup will sit there untouched. Folder on top of folder, but your fingers will never flip those pages and you will not utter a single name. It will never be the same. But I want to thank you, Heather, for all your passion, for all of your talks, for all of your smiles, for believing that this world can change and trying to make that happen. Thank you for making the word hate real. But thank you for making the word love even stronger.
We are going to have our differences. We are going to be angry with each other. But let's channel that anger not into hate, not into violence, not into fear, but let's channel that difference into righteous action. Right now, down the road, there's a blood drive going on in Heather's name. Right now, there are people who are here willing to listen to one another and talk to one another. Last night in New England, they had a peaceful rally in Heather's name to have some difficult dialogues. If you ever want to see what one of those dialogues looked like, look at her Facebook post. I'm telling you, they were rough sometimes, but they were dialogues, and the conversations have to happen. That's the only way we're going to carry Heather's spark through. So remember in your heart, if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. And I want you to pay attention, find what's wrong, don't ignore it, don't look the other way. You make a point to look at it and say to yourself, what can I do to make a difference? And that's how you're going to make my child's death worthwhile. I'd rather have my child, but by golly, if I got to give her up, we're going to make it count.